So the 2023 NBA season has pretty much concluded. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy final day of the regular season. In today's video, we are going to be ranking the 2022 draft class on how they ended up finishing their rookie season. So we're going to be putting this into a tier list. And we have a ton of tiers. Now we have 7 tiers here. One is specifically just for Chet Holmgren. And we're basically going to be dropping these rookies into the bucket of tiers on if I think they could be a future MVP from their rookie season, future all-star, just a future starter, somebody that you're pretty happy with. Maybe if you took him outside like the top 5, solid rookie season, you know, like we'll take it. Solid. And then we have nothing special. B word that I'm not going to say. I don't know if anybody's even going to fall into this tier. And then, like I said, the Chet tier. So if you guys enjoyed these style of videos, I'd appreciate you dropping a thumbs up. You guys have been supporting the videos like crazy lately, so thank you so much. I appreciate that, especially all the support on me ranking my top 20 players in 5 years. That one was super fun to do, and a lot of you guys in the comments as well were just giving constructive criticism, not like just being mean and saying, how'd you forget this guy, how'd you forget this guy? You kind of told me why, and I do agree. I probably should have had at least Triple J, Bam, and Sabonis in my honorable mentions, maybe even Scoot Henderson as well. I thought maybe Jalen Williams would have been a little bit premature, but definitely some good points by you guys. So remember, this is just my opinion. It's their rookie seasons, and they're like, maybe some of these guys were in just poor situations. Some of these guys could have been, or they've been in amazing situations. But yeah, let's get into this. So we're going to start off with just kind of the order here. We have Mark Williams, who was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. He did not really do much in the first half of his rookie campaign. I mean, the Hornets have been kind of a mess this season, but when he's been playing, he is good, man. He's a physical, strong center, and I don't think he's going to be a 20-point per game scorer one day, but if his peak is somebody like that puts up a stat line similar to like a Clint Capella or Robert Williams, you will definitely take that. I think he's a future starter in this league. I think all-star, I don't know if I've seen it yet from him, just because he's not going to have that offensive creativity. I don't know if he's going to have Rudy Gobert level defense or Draymond Green level defense, where like you don't really have, like the offense doesn't need to be insane to make the all-star game, but I think Mark Williams could definitely be a good starter in the league. Paolo Banchero, yeah, he could be a future MVP player this year. He's dealt with some injuries, and that's why he went through some of these rough shooting patches, but the guy has been setting scoring records for rookies. Honestly, I'm going to take the L on it. I did not have Banchero as my number 1 player in this draft. I had Chet Holmgren as my number 1 player. I had Jaden Ivey ahead of him. I was on the fence with him or Jabari Smith, and I think on draft night I did end up going with Jabari Smith. So I had Banchero as my 4th best player, so that is an L by me. I did not evaluate him properly, and I just thought maybe the athleticism, the conditioning was not going to translate to the next level, but he has been an all-world scorer. He's going to be an MVP. I'm super happy for Magic fans, and I was definitely wrong about him. I think he is maybe the only guy here that could be a future MVP candidate one day, at least from what we've seen in their rookie campaigns. Next up, we have Jeremy Sohan of the San Antonio Spurs. And like Sohan had a very up and down rookie year as well. We all know the free throw weakness he had. He ended up shooting free throws with one hand, but he's kind of like a unique player, and I really like him a lot. I don't know if he's going to be an all-star one day. We'll see if that defense can get there. We'll see if that three-point shot can get there. But he is definitely a versatile power forward that I think the Spurs are probably content with in his rookie season. So I would give Sohan kind of my stamp of approval. He's going to be in that future starter. David Roddy, I'm not putting him in that B word, and he wasn't drafted to have high expectations right away. He went into Memphis where it was going to be hard to get some playing time. Now they've had their injuries this season. I would say it's probably nothing special, and he wasn't the most inefficient shooter at all for a rookie. I just think that nothing special is like, okay, like I don't really know what to think from your rookie season. I'm going to need to see a higher sample size or more playing time next year and see if we can see that improvement into your sophomore season. So yeah, David Roddy, nothing special, could be better, could be worse. I think that's a good tier for him. Next up, we have Patrick Baldwin Jr., and I did change the bust here to a little worried, because I'm not calling anybody a bust after their rookie season unless it was like a Joshua Primo type rookie season. But yeah, I'm gonna put Patrick Baldwin Jr. in here. Now it was like David Roddy, it was gonna be tough to get playing time in Golden State due to them having a deep roster and them trying to make a championship push, so it would really be hard to like ask for a lot out of Patrick Baldwin, but the efficiency really wasn't there, and there would be times where I thought he would get more playing time and Kerr would opt to not like play him. So maybe that scares me a little bit, that he doesn't look maybe as good in practice, or they don't feel as confident in him right away. So I'm just a little worried to see how he's going to be in his sophomore year. Now we'll see if a couple of these current Warriors are gone next year, and it's going to open up playing time for him. So we'll see about that. Kind of, it's up in the air. Next up, we have Malachi Branham, who was on the Spurs, and I honestly think he's a future starter as well. Now the Spurs weren't great. He wasn't dealt in the best position, but at least he had some time to grow, and like, I guess just opportunities to be under one of the best coaches in the league and have like a chance to get his shots up and just be creative with the ball. And I thought the scoring is going to be there, and that's what we saw from him coming out of Ohio State. I really liked him. I had a top 15 pick grade on him as well. I love the Spurs draft, and I think you're getting two future starters there in Sohan and Branham. And even if Branham isn't maybe your starting shooting guard or small forward one day, he could be a perfect six-man of the year candidate down the line. Next up, we're going to talk about Walker Kessler, who is a future all-star in my opinion, because maybe he's going to be somebody like a Rudy Gobert. It's a bad comp because they traded Rudy Gobert for Walker Kessler basically. And he is going to be one of the best shot blockers in the league, one of the best rebounders, one of the best inside scorers. And he is somebody that could, I honestly think, have 20 point per game potential one day, because I think he could be that dominant, that efficient, that skilled inside the paint. I don't know if he's ever going to have a consistent shot one day. Probably not, but I think he's going to be talented enough inside where that won't be a problem at all either. He had a fantastic rookie season for the Jazz, a top 5 rookie year out of anybody in this list or in this draft class, and I think the Jazz are very thrilled about having Walker Kessler on their team after just getting him as one of the many pieces they got in the Rudy Gobert trade package. Next up, we have Dyson Daniels, who honestly, I'm not going to be worried because I think the defensive potential is there, but it really just wasn't a special rookie season. And like Roddy, who he joins this tier with, it was a deep Pelicans roster. They plan on being pretty good this year. They've had their fair share of injuries. I just thought he was going to get more playing time or a little bit more offensive opportunities, and we really didn't see that from Daniels this year. I think like the defensive potential is definitely there. That's why I'm not dropping him in the tier below to a little worried, but it's definitely not a solid rookie season at all for Daniels, who I think a lot of people had higher expectations for coming into this year. I was so happy that we got to see Ochai Agbaji play for the Jazz this season, maybe than the Cavs, because he definitely had more opportunity to grow and develop, and even though he was a little bit older coming out of Kansas this past season, I liked what I saw from his three-point shot. He's had more playing time due to the Jazz injuries and stuff towards April basketball, and we've been able to see some scoring outbursts from Ochai Agbaji. I think he's going to be a very good just scoring player that you need in the league one day, and I think it's a very solid rookie year for the last pick of the lottery. I think Johnny Davis is definitely going to be in the little worried tier. I like Johnny Davis coming out of Wisconsin. I will not lie. He's been a little bit better over the last couple of weeks, but the whole regular season, basically until April, we did not see good basketball out of Johnny Davis at all, and then we didn't really see a lot of playing time from him because he was poor. But you know what? These last couple of weeks in April have given me a little bit of hope that we're going to see him next season. I'm hoping the playing time goes up and it doesn't stay the same, because they do have a lot of wings, at least with Denny, with Kispert. We'll see if they bring back Kuzma. They got Beal, and trading Hashimura at the deadline at least open up some playing time. We'll see who they end up with their first round pick in this draft. If they draft another wing, I'm going to be a little bit worried for Johnny Davis's playing time next year. Marjon Beauchamp, I'm a little worried as well, just because we didn't really see all that efficient kind of offensive play from Beauchamp this year. It was tough to be on a Bucks team where he was going to have to come in and be a helping guy to their playoff team right away, and it was tough to see that from him. I'm hoping we see a little bit more from him next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks ended up trading him in the offseason to get somebody that can help them win it again next year. But I think the Bucks roster is definitely going to look a little bit different in 2024. We got Peyton Watson for the Denver Nuggets. I'm going to honestly say it's nothing special, because I didn't have high expectations for Watson coming into the season. I was very surprised he ended up as a first round pick, because if you look at his UCLA numbers, there wasn't a lot going on, but the Nuggets definitely saw the potential, and I think like the very, very small sample size we saw out of him, not the worst play in the world for somebody with the 30th pick that didn't have high expectations either. So I would say it's nothing special. We'll see if he ends up in the Nuggets rotation full time next year. Keegan Murray, I don't think is a future MVP. I think like he could be a future all-star one day. Maybe not constructed in this current Kings roster with Sabonis and Fox, but maybe just if he has more of a scoring opportunity at a higher usage, I think you can definitely make the argument for future starter than future all-star, but I think he could be a very good three-point shooter and will develop that shot over time as he gets more experience in the league. So I love that pick for the Kings at 4, and I was like, oh, maybe you should have taken Jaden Ivey, who I'll talk about now, but yeah, Keegan Murray, great pick for the Kings. And I think Jaden Ivey also is a future all-star as well. Man, I was so disappointed from the start of his rookie season, but you really can't hate on these rookies too much or take into account the first couple months of NBA basketball, because it's such a big jump going from college or overseas or the G League to the NBA. So they're going to struggle. It would be weird if they didn't struggle right away. That's why I like Luka, and even Paolo is an anomaly there. But Ivy has been fantastic over the last couple of months. His jump shot looks a little bit better. I would like to see his defense improve throughout the offseason and into his sophomore year, but either way, I think he's definitely on track to being at least a one-time all-star one day. Chet, we'll definitely go into the Chet tier TBD. Unfortunately, we didn't see him this year. Would I be a little bit worried? yeah, like, are the injuries going to be a thing for Chet throughout his career? But he's going to be in that tier right away just because we didn't really see much from him. Man, Shaedon Sharpe. I don't think future MVP, but what we've seen him, like, it's been nice. Like, that's why I wanted to make this tier list at the end of the season, because you get to see more playing time and these guys develop once you get into April basketball, because a lot of these guys aren't on good teams. That's why they were drafted so high. And towards the end of the season, they're tanking. They're not playing their starters. Everybody kind of gets hurt towards the end of the year in load management. So you see more playing time and more usage and more opportunities for the young guys. And we saw that for Shaedon Sharpe, who has been a phenomenal scorer over the last couple of weeks. Definitely somebody that's probably helped out his stock and his image the most over the months of April and March. So yeah, Shaedon Sharpe I think could be a future all-star one day, and definitely a 20-point per game scorer in the near future. Benedict Mathurin, probably somebody else that I think could be a future all-star. I've been blown away from his rookie campaign in Indiana, and he's been a great scorer, and I'm going to be super excited to see him another year with Tyrese Haliburton next year in Indiana. So I wonder if there's going to be anybody else that I think could be a future all-star into this tier. Like, if we look at somebody like AJ Griffin, if we saw more opportunities from him, I think he could be there. I think he could be efficient enough. I think he could be a good enough defender where he could be a future all-star. Don't know if that's going to happen in Atlanta, though. Adding Saddiq Bey didn't help out his minutes. They re-signed Bogdan Bogdanovic, but I think he's definitely going to be a future starter in this league. Oh, wait, no, there's definitely another future all-star, and that's Jalen Williams. You could probably put Jalen Williams as the #1 guy in this list. Somebody that I didn't really expect too much coming out of Santa Clara. I thought it was like, whoa, I didn't think this guy was going to be in the lottery, and I thought he was going to be probably between like picks 25 and 30. I was shocked. I probably didn't even give the Thunder a good enough grade for this pick, but yeah, he's blown me away with his playmaking ability, his efficient scoring. I don't even know why I didn't say that. Like, yeah, he's probably the best guy in this tier if you're looking at future stock. I think he's up there with Shaedon Sharpe, and you're probably looking at Jaden Ivey, and like, yeah, I mean, like, this is a great class itself. I think if I'm putting Keegan Murray in here, I would have to give love to Jabari Smith, who definitely struggled to start the season, but I think he has the intangibles and the potential. Maybe I'm going to drop Keegan Murray a little bit to the future starter. I don't know if he's going to be a 20-plus point per game guy consistently. I don't know, though. It's going to be tough for these guys to really kind of see that. I don't want to say that there's going to be 10 future All-Stars in this class, because it would be one of the best draft classes ever. So you know what? I think I'm going to go back on Walker Kessler. I think Walker Kessler is going to be a future really good starter. All-Star, it might be tough, at least at the center position, but definitely I have him in a tier above Mark Williams if we're looking at kind of that potential there. Keegan Murray, I'm also going to drop to the top of this tier also, but you can let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Those are definitely the hardest ones if I wanted to put in future all-star or just a future starter, which starter is a good tier. Like, you definitely want to be in that one as well, because I think Jabari Smith has the potential there, and we've seen kind of a little bit of a few game spurts where it's like, okay, this guy could be a 20 and 13 guy, and he could be efficient, and he could be a clutch scorer, and he can get to the rim and get the shots he wants, but we definitely saw the downsides of that. But he was like inherited the worst system this year, the worst scenario, the worst atmosphere, the worst environment in Houston. So it should be better for him next year. That's why I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think Jalen Duren is in the future starter as well. What a good center class, man. Mark Williams, Walker Kessler, Jalen Duren. Like, that is really good of a trio there. 3 first-round centers also. For the efficiency, I'm a little bit worried with Blake Wesley. Yeah, I thought like we'd see him be a little bit more efficient, but it's tough for these guards coming in right away. I would say Wendell Moore was a nothing special rookie of the year, or excuse me, rookie campaign. I didn't expect too much from him. That's why it's just like kind of there. I'm definitely worried about Ty Washington. I loved him coming out of Kentucky, but just the efficiency, not great defensive play at least. I'm just kind of worried that he's not even going to get that opportunity next year and kind of going forward. I think more obvious 3-point shot could definitely develop, but I would say it's just a nothing special rookie of the year. I didn't really expect too much from him coming out of Wake Forest anyway, going to the Grizzlies. I like Christian Brown's rookie campaign a lot, and he could definitely be a future starter, someone that's a hustle guy, can hit a 3-point shot, can play good defense, can facilitate, can rebound. He's a good all-around player. Boy, am I worried about Dalen Terry and his inefficiency this year for the Chicago Bulls. I expected more out of him. Ousmane Dieng, like, I mean, I knew he was going to struggle, such a raw prospect coming overseas into the NBA, so I'd say it's nothing special, but I do want to be worried about this efficiency. Also, I'm putting Ochai Agbaji here, and I'm just getting rid of this tier. I mean, like, all these guys kind of had solid rookie years, and I think they could all be future starters in this league. I think Tari Eason could just be, like, a perfect starter one day, somebody that could be that power forward, that hustle guy, that's someone that's going to be physical inside, play good defense, and maybe be, like, that prototypical, like, valuable 3-and-D power forward in this league. I don't know why Nikola Jovic wasn't in this tier list, and I expected expected maybe a little bit more out of him this year. Maybe just in Miami, if they had high hopes from him, he'd probably be in the I'm a little worried tier. So let me know what you guys think of this tier list down below. The ones I definitely had trouble on were not putting maybe Kessler or Keegan Murray in the future All-Star, or just bumping down maybe Jabari Smith into the future starter. And if you disagree with these, yeah, please let me know in the comments below, or even if you agree, I'd love to see what we agree on. Hope you guys have a great Sunday. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.